Hello and welcome along as the Cross Series League Racing Championship returns this week. It's round 6. Oh, hello, that's our leader. That's Peterson. And Ross is just headed past him. We've just seen him flash through there. And Turn 1 claims yet another victim. Round 10 of the championship, and everything to play for a few of our drivers. As
there it goes.
There we go. I think there's just all of a sudden the daylight has fallen off the cliff, and there's people absolutely everywhere trying to find their way round, off track, left, right, and centre. Ghastly. I'm hoping for certainly not a ghastly race, as he's, tell you what, he's really folding coats up onto that high line. Cower opting for a much lower one as we go green here for the final time at Lima Land. When you saw those two coming together in your mirrors, surely it must have been a big weight gone from your shoulders.
I just kept my foot in it and I just kept going.
Spoken like a true pro. Bit of a question. Obviously, are you going to remain? You're going to come out in a week's time. We're going to see you out on track as we head to Valencia.
Yeah, I plan to be there unless we get another last-minute decision to go racing here in real life. That was why I wasn't here last week. We decided to make a last-minute decision to go do some racing, and yeah.
And how did you get on?
What's that?
How did you get on? Obviously, when you went, well, I say real-life racing a couple of weeks ago.
Trey, let me put this to you in American terms. How well did you do last weekend?
Oh, pretty good. I think.
Here come the lights. Let's get ready to go racing in Germany for the first time. And Clog, he's jumped the start there. He's going to incur a penalty. Bouncing across the curves, the pair of them. And Thompson's finally going to go the run on him. He's going to be up the inside on the run down to kick a turn. And surely this is going to be from the lead. He backs out of him. Schenkler runs wide. But Thompson's finally got it. But here comes Ham. He's right into it, and he wants to plate off Schrenkler. He runs to Rob Salt in his route right in these last stages. Now let's get ready to go racing from Bristol in the grand final of round 5 of the XSLR Championship. And there's bang and Stein into the wall early.
Charlotte Motor Speedway was built to provide a Daytona-style home for NASCAR racing in North Carolina, and by any metric, it has succeeded. It's become a fixture on the calendar since it's opened all the way back in June 1960. It originally started its life as just a super speedway, but now Charlotte Motor Speedway has expanded its racing repertoire with racing facilities to incorporate a quarter-mile oval and the infamous Roval layout, which will guarantee Charlotte's place in the motor racing history books. Welcome to round 12 of the Cross Series League Racing Championship, and tonight marks the last race in the oval segment, meaning now our drivers have completed in 3 racing disciplines with just dirt road to go. Will we see one last hurrah from the drivers who might prefer the oval courses, or will we see new names prevail once again, I wonder? My name is Sebastian Bosher-Williams. In the virtual production booth, we have the wonderful Jonathan Grabowski, but right now, as ever, I'm joined by Alex Andersen. And Alex, after the 3 heart-pounding oval races we've had so far, we're on the final stretch of the oval portion. But what a track we've got in store for us for the last hurrah, as it were. I mean, you can't really go wrong than Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, 100%. The race is the race this year in real life. It was absolutely fantastic. The Coke 600's one of the main fixtures of this racetrack, and it is just a mind-boggling event. It's absolutely incredible. It's great to watch, and obviously these guys are going to put on a show for us here. There's no doubt about that.
So what makes Charlotte so good and so popular when it comes to NASCAR and oval racing fans?
Well, really, when you ask most people about NASCAR and if they can name any races they know of, they're gonna say the Daytona 500, which makes sense. You know, biggest race of the year, pretty much NASCAR's Super Bowl. Got the high banks, the plate racing, the 500-mile event. But when you tell somebody about the race at Charlotte, the oval, it's not 500 miles, it's 600 miles. 400. These drivers take to 400 laps around this 1.5-mile long racetrack in the Cup Series in real life. It's essentially an endurance race for them, and it's a massive crowd draw. And while we aren't even racing for a quarter of that distance tonight, it is going to be a spectacle for these guys to take to this racetrack. It's a very tough track to navigate, and it's probably going to give these guys a lot of issues.
I'll have to find out. Tell you what though, every time after I come to you, Alex, I get more and more excited for the race we have in store for you today. Qualifying underway, and Kevin Irwin there really running the low line, getting a little bit loose on the exit. You don't want to be doing that at all, and with that even impact Kevin's second qualifying lap because he's not building enough speed. Well, tell you what, Sam Cook, that really won't be helping his qualifying chances, and he's actually found the wall for good measure.
Yeah, that'll end his qualifying run, currently sitting in second. Here's Brandon Gass, currently on the provisional pole with a 36.59. And he was fastest in practice too, so this number 4 truck showing a lot of speed in the practice and qualifying sessions of this race. Adam Thompson up to P3. Fish just set his first lap down there in 7th. Fish moves up to second after his second lap there. Bobby Ross quickly takes that away, moving himself up into second with a 36.60. So actually, if you look at the time, if you look at the exact timing, Bobby Ross's qualifying lap was only a single thousandth off of Brandon Gass's lap. So very close qualifying times, which is going to lead to some very close racing out on this track.
We've seen that, haven't we, from the previous 3 rounds, and close racing very much goes in the spirit of the Cross Series League Racing Championship. But here's a man that, how would you sum up Tim Cox's oval debut? You know, he's not a man that does much oval racing, much more of a road driver. Yeah, how would you rate Tim's performance so far this oval season?
Well, for someone's first shot at some oval racing competitively, it hasn't been going too bad for him. He doesn't qualify too well, but usually he turns it up in the race, usually able to find himself within the top 5, albeit just barely, but he has done a fairly good job so far in that number 340 truck. Definitely better than I would ever be able to do when I first started out doing oval racing. So I think he's done a pretty good job in the 340 truck, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he'll be able to do later on in this race.
The 177 truck currently finds himself, actually hasn't set a lap time yet, actually, take that back. DiPiero in 9th place, finds himself up into 7th. The biggest surprise for me, though, Alex, in this qualifying session is Thompson, all the way down in 8th place. Don't really remember the last time we saw him so far down the order in qualifying. Thompson, I mean, he's only a couple of turns off the pole time, but, you know, Adam Thompson, the championship leader, has got a lot of work to do today if he wants to add another race win to his collection so far this season.
Yeah, and we'll have to see what Jake Ham tries to do, because we've seen how fast he is at oval rounds in the past. I mean, Talladega, I mean, you can't really measure somebody's oval skill at that. That's just using the trap and manipulating it. Here's Tim Cox on another flying lap, currently off of turn 2. Very smooth, not loose, doing exactly what you want to do behind the wheel of one of these Silverados. He'll fire it off into turn number 3. Gets to the low line, just a little bit, not really driving the white line, kind of just hanging out in the middle. Brings it cleanly up to the wall, off the hill, and down towards the double dogleg front stretch across the line. What he'll do, doesn't look like an approved lap from him. He'll stay down there in P10.
That was Tim's final last hurrah at getting in a qualifying lap. The qualifying session comes to an end, and for Tim Cox it will be 10th place on the grid as you see the official pace truck there just waiting for everybody to join the grid. And confirmation then of your grid for the 12th round of the Season 4 Cross Series League Racing Championship, and Brandon Gass is on the pole position. Alongside him, separated by 1/1000th of a second, as you pointed out, Alex, Bobby Ross in second place, Jake Ham in third, with David Fish starting alongside him on the second row. Sam Cook is fifth, with Magnus Andersen in sixth place. Jerry DiPiero seventh, with Adam Thompson, the championship leader, down in eighth place. James Keir ninth, and Tim Cox 10th, so an all-British fifth row. Kevin Irwin in 11th, with David De Silva 12th, and the final car in today's race. And what a race we have in store for you today, Alex. It was very much, last round at USA International, it was very much all about restarts and managing and mastering those restarts. What do you think, what do you think the defining sort of winning move will be today? Is it going to be about tyre strategy, fuel saving, keeping the car clean? How do you foresee this race playing out with your mystical crystal ball that I know you have, Alex?
Short answer, tires. If these guys pit, it's going to be for tires. They might have to put a little bit of fuel in it, but it's going to be all about the tires. In mile-and-a-half racetracks like Charlotte, tires are the name of the game. You have to know how to save these Goodyear Eagles as you run around here for an extended period of time. And if you can't save them, you're just gonna end up tightening the crap out of your truck and just falling back through the field. And a lot of guys in this field, I reckon, are going to know that. A lot of these guys are going to know that they are going to have to manage their tires as best as they can. And you save your tires running around a mile-and-a-half track by just trying to go as fast as you can with putting the least amount of pressure on the gas pedal as you can. So just trying to lift and coast more through the corners, trying to be less aggressive on that throttle, and just trying to make sure your tires can go the distance, especially at speed. That's going to be the name of the game here tonight.
What will this race have in store for us, I wonder? It's been an absolutely enthralling oval leg of the championship after, an equally as good dirt, oval and paved road section as well. We've got Rallycross coming up in 2 weeks' time. But until then, one more oval race stands, well, really in between. Just round turns 3 and 4. The pole sitter is on the low lane. We'll now have a look at the official pace truck that will pull in a short order, and we'll get ready to go racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Brandon Gass is gone early. That Ford truck getting away. Wow, Ross under pressure from Ham on the inside line. Brandon Gass certainly did not hang around and wait. He wanted to get this race underway as quickly as possible. Ham is up to second place. The 85 truck getting the jump on the 33. Fish in fourth. Andersen making his way past Cook. Thompson also making a place up at the start. So did Tim Cox. Here coming back through turns 3 and 4. We round the final 2 corners before we start lap number 2. A very polite, I think you could say, start there, Alex. Everybody getting away cleanly, finding their rhythm earlier on. Fish starting to lose a little bit of time as we see Ham under pressure from Ross.
Yeah, here they go, side by side into turn number 3. Ross running that low line. Let us see what he does through this couple of corners. Looks like Ham gonna let him by. Maybe going for a late apex. No. Just trying to preserve that truck for now. Bobby Ross going to take back over second place. And the one thing that I'm fearing about Brandon Gass right now, I know we're only on lap 3 of this race, but Brandon Gass has been flying away from these guys in the corners. And that can only mean one thing. He is running the crap out of his tires right now. He's pushing that truck as hard as he can right now. that's not a good thing, really. I mean, he'll be burning up his tires. We'll have to see how that affects him. But here we go, a 2x2 pack entering 3 this time. Thompson gets clear of him as the 43 of Fish starts to fall back. Here's the onboard view of Jerry DiPiero as we head down the front straightaway one more time, trying to creep ever so closer to Adam Thompson in front of him. Looks like Sam Cook gets around Fish as well, moves himself up into 7th. Everybody single file racing cleanly for the most part in the early stages of this race.
I think Thompson's really had a good start, likewise has Gas, but I think both of them are using their tyres maybe more than the other drivers out on the circuit at the moment. That 177 truck, DiPiero looking at Thompson. Thompson really pushing the air out of the way, allowing 2 behind him to get the slipstream. The 15 of Cook looking very, very racy as they sling their way through turns 1 and 2. Onto the back straight. Ross though, Alex starting to reduce the gap between himself and Gas. It's that 177 truck really running a tight line at the moment. Ross, maybe he's decided now he also wants to burn through his tyres. He doesn't want to let Brandon Gas get away, have an easy ride. Ross really, really wants this race win.
Yeah, and another thing is Brandon Gas realized he was burning his stuff up and decided to just be a little bit more cautious, you know, just try and keep that truck clean, not try and run it into the wall, try and maintain those tires. And that's why Bobby Ross is starting to catch up. There will be a race for the lead soon, no doubt, side by side in the back there between David Fish and Kevin Irwin. Looks like Irwin is going to get out in front as a result of that. Yep, Irwin gets around him, but there's still a battle going on for 5th place. DiPiero's fallen off just a tad, but still right on the back bumper of Adam Thompson as they head through turn 22 again.
Everybody just following the car ahead. No moves really going on. There's a great scrap sort of in the back of your picture between Keir, Cox, Irwin and Fish, although I think Fish is slowly falling off the back of that pack as you see the 88 of James Keir there, right on board with his truck, looking back at Tim Cox as we head into turn 1. I think now we're starting to see tyre saving really come into its own in the mid-pack, but Ross is so close to the back of Gas, they're almost pushing each other along. In fact, Ross takes the lead. He's running that inside line. Gas just allows the truck just to move a little bit up towards the middle lane. But Gas, I think, happy, wouldn't you say, Alex, to let Ross lead. Gas can just save his tyres, save a little bit of fuel, and come back at Ross later on in the stint.
I would say that's exactly what Gas has got to do here. I mean, you saw the way Bobby was driving that truck through these corners to catch up. He's obviously just running that thing as hard as he can. And that's going to burn his stuff up. So if Gas just stays patient back there in 2nd place, Bobby will eventually burn up his tires. And Gas will be able to make another run at him later on in the run when Bobby's been too tight for his own good after burning up those tires. Still a massive, pretty much a big train in the mid-pack here between 4 trucks. Adam Thompson, DiPiero, Cook, and David De Silva all under a blanket pretty much for the top 5 spot. DiPiero still right on the back bumper of Adam Thompson, not able to make a move just yet.
I think Irwin made contact with the wall. I think the 43 of Fish just a little quickly disconnected, caught Irwin by surprise, and I think that a yellow 7 truck was briefly into the wall. It looks like Irwin's just about managed to get away without too much damage, but Fish, I think, unbeknownst to him, causing a little bit of an issue for the 7 truck. That's a little bit high into the wall there from DiPiero. Drivers starting to push, maybe starting to feel the early effects of tyre wear. The other head, you have that really new battle, isn't it? You've got Ham and Andersen, and then Thompson, DiPiero, Cook, De Silva, and then Keir, Cox, and then Fish and Irwin. So many different packs at the moment. Just have a feeling, Alex, that it's going to be like this for a few laps, and then the carnage, the chaos that we've almost come accustomed to knowing in the XSLR series is going to come to fruition. And we're going to struggle, as we always do, to try and cover all of the action on the circuit.
I assume so. Is probably the most action that's going to take place is when drivers that have burned their tires up too much, they're going to start falling back through the field, allowing people to make up spots who have conserved their tires more. So say if Bobby Ross were to burn his stuff up a lot, start falling back through the field, that would make a pretty big obstacle for people who are still racing for their own positions, like Adam Thompson and Jerry DiPiero back there, adding another truck into that mix, which could just provide that extra bit of chaos we need to start seeing some yellows here. But so far, a clean race in the first 13 laps.
When falling off the back of Fish quite drastically for 4 seconds now, Owen. Really, that number 7 truck not finding the pace out there. I wonder if that contact with the wall has given him some long-lasting damage, or if in fact he's made another trip to the outside wall. But Irwin starting to go slow as we see Gas retaking his race lead. Ross on the outside, almost a mirror image of what we saw Ross do to Gas. So the number 4 truck leads once again. It just feels like these two are just working together at the moment, gapping Ham and Andersen. And actually, the 85 and the 72 are fighting just a little bit, and that's allowed that Thompson sort of train to catch up. It is looking like, you know, we've got at least 2 packs, you know, that we've got Gas and Ross sort of lapping by themselves, and then Ham, Andersen, and the rest of them, you know, sort of scrapping out in the second pack. Thompson, though, a lot more pace than Andersen, almost running into the back of him, and I think Thompson trying to work that truck up ahead of him so Thompson can get the inside line heading into turn 1.
You go side by side through 1 and 2. You see a little bit of right rear damage coming out. Andersen's truck. I wonder if he tagged the wall maybe just a little bit. Not a lot of scrapes on the right side though, so just some right rear damage. The fender might be knocked in a little, so he could have hit that wall on corner exit. You just see how much stronger Adam Thompson is to the center of the corner, or Andersen might be saving his tires just a little bit. So down the front straightaway they come one more time. Adam Thompson still just right on the back bumper of this 72 truck. He'll go to the inside once more now, seeing if he can hold on to it. Still side by side even as they come up off the banking. Andersen's going to get that run off the hill. Thompson trying to side draft as they head to the 3 once again.
Thompson really trying to take that 4th place. Andersen running that high line will get the better exit, but I think Thompson has got the move, and he has. The 244 truck now finds himself up into 4th place. Thompson gaining 4 places since the race started. DiPiero now, he has to try and find a way past Andersen. This is a battle between Kia and Fish. So James Kia trying to find his way past David Fish. Fish, in fact, losing 4 places since the start of the race, but I think Fish now on a little bit of a recovery drive. Tim Cox, something I think might have happened to him. Oh, he's in the wall. Was he almost in the wall there, Alex? I didn't quite catch if he managed to hit it, but certainly running a very, very high line through turns 3 and 4. Not what you want to do if you are trying to race for a position.
If you're trying to make some moves, you could make the top lane work by getting that run off the high side. You know, it's normally faster up towards the high side because you can run more in the, because you can use more of that gas pedal to get that truck turned around. But if you want to save tires, you're going to have to be running that bottom lane. Adam Thompson, though, not really trying to save his tires at all, though. Gets to the inside of Jake Ham through turns 1 and 2, trying to clear him. He will clear him off of turn number 2. And I think Bobby Ross starting to feel the effects of tire wear, as now he's dropped over 1.3 seconds away from Brandon Gaston, is about to lose this spot to Adam Thompson and Jake Ham as well.
Thompson rapid so far. I thought that Thompson was actually burning out his tyres like, you know, Ross and Gas were early on, but no sign of any ill effects for the 244 truck. Right on board through turn 1. And Ross, it's just so slow. Thompson having to get out of the front to avoid rear-ending the 33 truck. Thompson will choose that inside lane as we head into turn 3. It's almost guaranteed that once they exit, Thompson will be in 3rd, and actually Ham now trying to utilise and follow Thompson through. Jake Ham really, really on the inside, and actually it's Ross losing out quite substantially in the last few laps. And Alex, if you were the 33 truck, would you think about coming into the pits and just trying something, just praying that there won't be another caution, and just coming into the pits, get the pit stop done early, and just try, just get on some better rubber?
I don't think it'll work at this stage in the race. No, I've tried doing strategies like that a couple times in official races. It really just doesn't work. The other people that are still on the track just end up getting too much of a gap after you pitting for you to be able to do much with those fresher tires. So I think Bobby Ross just has to ride this out. You know, he's made his bed, he has to sleep in it now, just trying to hold on in that 33 truck as we near the halfway point in this race.
When you say hold on, if you are starting to feel the effects of tire wear, how does that change the drivability of the truck?
Well, it really all depends on what tire you really start to burn off the most. If you burn off the right front, that truck is just going to start to get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. You really just have to slow. The only way to cope with it, or as road racers refer to it as understeer, the only way to cope with it is just to slow down more for the corners. Just try and use the brakes to get that thing wound up and rotated. Or you burn off the right rear tire, or just the rear tires in general. It's going to make that truck very, very loose. You're not going to be able to put too much wheel in it or too much throttle in it without the truck going around on you. I would say what's affecting Bobby Ross right now is that right front tire. By trying to pull away from gas early on and trying to keep up with him, he's just burned off that right front, and he's just gotten that truck tighter and tighter and tighter, and he's just not been able to hold on. Already about to fall outside of the top 5.
Yeah, it almost struggled to get the car turned in through turns 4. Very nearly was making an early exit due to contact with a barrier. This man, though, Brandon Gass, can see nobody ahead of him and not really many behind. Thompson about 1.8 seconds behind the number 4 truck, and Thompson starting to gain on Gas. Thompson bringing Ham along and Andersen for good measure, but I think Gas is just sort of biding his time. There is the 244 truck.
Yeah.
So Alex, when we get to the pits, or well, what lap do you think we'll start to see pits? Oh, that's the 15 heading into the pit lane. I don't know if that was a planned pit or a little bit of an impromptu pit lane appearance, but the 15 finds himself into the pit road. He will come through and get some new tyres. I wonder, Alex, was that intentional? I think it was. I think he's just underestimated how effective these brakes can be at times.
Well, you were going to ask me when trucks are going to start to head into the pits. I'm going right around now after Sam Cook tries to come into the pits that time. So I reckon, yeah, here come more trucks onto pit road. David Fish is in. James Keir is in. So these guys are going to start to head into the pits more these guys are going to start to head into the pits. Everybody's going to have to come in, change those 4 tires, put some more fuel into that fuel tank. So I would reckon that probably the main thing you're going to want to do here is try and pit as early as possible. Say, if you're Thompson or Jake Ham back here and you're fighting for second place, I would say I would want to pit right around where Thompson is doing. Get those fresh tires on first. That way, you'll be able to make up some time before the other trucks head into the pit lane. So I would say Thompson's doing the right thing here.
So Thompson, the first of our main leaders to come into the pits, Gas, Ham, Andersen, Ross, all stay out for at least another lap. You're right, Fish, Keir, Cook, all have already come into the pits to take their pit stop. 25 laps to go in a really intriguing race. Oh, Gas, very late. Oh, as he spun, as he sped into the pit lane, he had to apply so much counter steer to avoid looping the car like we saw the 15 of Cook do. But I wonder, Alex, did that look a little bit quick on the pit entry? Has our race leader got a speeding penalty?
Honestly, not sure. I think what happened there is he's overcooked, or not really overcooked the rears, but just has the rear brake bias maybe a little bit too far back, just trying to get that truck slowed down. Definitely looked a little bit fast on pit road entry, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to maintain that lead without serving a penalty. And it looks like he's going to serve a penalty, currently stationary in his stall still. So Brandon Gass, pit road speeding penalty on entrance, very easy thing to do, but it's going to be very costly for that number 4 truck.
Hugely costly. The pole sitter, the driver who has led most of the laps around this circuit so far, finds himself still in the pit lane. You could almost tell that, you know, Brandon knew as soon as he crossed the pit line that he was going too quick. He tried to keep on the brakes, locked the rear tyres, almost ended up into the pit wall. But Thompson, from some magic, finds himself leading this race with David Fish in second. Fish was all the way down in sort of 8th, 9th place earlier on, but Fish having a huge run heading out of turn 2 down towards turn 3. Thompson heads on the inside line, forces Fish the long way around, but Thompson, he's got a quick driver behind him in Fish, and Ham as well. Oh, almost colliding between Thompson and Fish. Watch the 85 truck now, makes his way past the 45. Are they going to go 3 wide into turn 1? Ham thinks about it, just decides to back out for now, but it's the 43 versus the 85, with Thompson just about holding on to the lead, but Thompson was low through turn 2, and that's allowed Fish to get past him. Fish and Ham working that high line together. Thompson trying to hold on to the race lead, trying to stay low, trying to keep his foot in it, but Fish will take the race lead. And here comes Jake Ham, the 85 truck, closing in on the 43. But really, it's all about what can Thompson do. Can he stick within this fight? Can he keep his nose in? And I think he's just going to have to concede. He pulls to the high side. The 43 is your new race leader.
Yeah, David Fish, very strong currently in that number 43 truck, doing a great job. I mean, didn't show a lot of speed early on in this race, currently showing some speed now with only 20 laps to go in this race, so it's going to start to be go time soon for some of these guys. Jake Ham probably knows that. Tried to get to the inside of Adam Thompson through turn number 1, couldn't get it done right there. Currently just going to ride along on the back bumper of that number 244 truck, but these guys are going to have to start formulating a plan to try and take down that number 43 truck unless they want to get David Fish get his first win in the Oval Series.
Oh, quickly, can the 85 clear Thompson? Thompson just doesn't necessarily have the pace unless Fish is really abusing his tyres like we saw the 33 of Ross do in the first stint. But you have to say Fish just looked just a little bit quicker. So Ham needs to clear Thompson as quickly as possible to have enough time to challenge Fish. In the background there, 72 of Andersen having a look at James Keir. 72 to the inside. Keir doesn't put up too much of a fight, and another driver, Alex, that stopped early was the 88 of Keir, was running at 4th, now finds himself in 5th. But just like Thompson, the earlier you pit, the further that you find yourself up the field, although it seems like they are losing a little bit of pace at this phase.
Yeah, and that's not good if you are one of these drivers back here. I mean, Fish could be burning the stuff up, and you might be saving your tires back here for Thompson or Jake Ham, but they aren't going to be saving their tires at all if they're racing like this. So David Fish could very well pull away with the win here if these guys don't come up with something soon. There's the battle between Magnus Andersen and Bobby Ross, but side by side into turn number 1. Jake Ham is going to take the spot over Adam Thompson. Now we have to see what the 85 truck can do to catch up to your current leader.
The 85, that was a good move. Thompson, I think, tried to work that high line, but Ham just got a little bit more pace, a little bit more tyre, I think, left. Really could just get the move done easier. And if you are following a car, so say, you know, Ham has been stuck behind Thompson for about, you know, sort of 5 or 6 laps, do you save tyres behind the car, or do you burn them because you are sort of in a dirty area and you're really having to push to keep up with the car ahead?
Well, in the older models of iRacing vehicles, the dirty air doesn't affect them as much, so you can really just ride along the back bumper of somebody and just be smart with the throttle, and you can still save your tires a bit. But Jake Ham starting to ever so slowly close this gap to David Fish, so Ham is probably just trying to use his tires as best as he can, try and close that gap while just making sure they'll go to the end of the race. It looks like Fish might be throwing it into the corners just a little bit harder than Jake Ham is. So Ham is on a decent strategy right here to try and retake a lead later on in this race.
15 to go here at Charlotte, and usually no cautions to be found so far. 10 cars still remain on the lead lap. This is the 72 of Andersen trying to get past your championship leader Adam Thompson. Thompson did lead this race in the second phase after the pit stops, but finds himself falling further and further down the order, and I think it's a question of when, not if. Andersen will get past Thompson, and Andersen up to the podium places. The 33 of Ross, he's looking quick as well. Ross knows all about how demoralizing it can feel losing places after just running out of tyre. The 85 though down to 310, so Jake Ham is gaining on David Fish. Ham does look quicker, and you're right, it does look like 43 Fish is throwing the car into the corner just a little bit more. You have to say it was a few laps ago advantage the number 43, but now it has to be advantage Jake Ham in the 85.
Well, even if Jake Ham is closing this gap, catching up to David Fish is one thing, but passing him is going to be a completely different story. They're still pretty even. Jake Ham only knocked 1/1000th of a second out of their distance between themselves that lap. So they're still very much close together in terms of lap time. Looks like a bit of a blink from Jake Ham there as he continues to narrow down this gap. He knocked about 1/10 of it there, but Fish could very well just be trying to save his tires. Saving those Goodyear Eagles are going to be important. But Jake Ham now almost right on the back bumper of David Fish. So now what does Jake Ham do to get around him?
What does he do indeed? Ham had a great run out of turn 4. Blue might even try and send it to the inside into turn 1. Thought against it, but it is a battle once again for the race win. Come around turns 3 and 4. They'll cross the start-finish line. And then we will have a 10-lap shootout between Jake Ham and David Fish. Who will be the race winner? Will it be the new blood? Will we have a new name on the race winning step? Or will Jake Ham win once again? Almost 3 wide there in the background through turn 1. Thompson doing his absolute best to try and stay in third place. Andersen's on that high line. Thompson starts to squeeze it as I lose my voice a little bit. The 33 heads to the inside, but Andersen looking oh so quick on that high line, and Thompson just almost engaging reverse gear at the moment.
Yeah, not doing too hot. The number 244 truck currently in the process of being swallowed up by Andersen and Bobby Ross. Jake Ham started to fall off of David Fish just a little bit there. So still a side-by-side battle right in Adam Thompson's mirror, but it looks like Magnus Andersen trying to throw him 3 wide. He's right just barely to the outside of Adam Thompson as they head into 3. Side-by-side, a 4, a 3rd as they head through turns 3 and 4. Andersen trying to get that run off the high side is not going to work. Adam Thompson going to maintain his position for now. Bobby Ross still trying to get around Magnus Andersen in the midst of it.
Thompson still just about holding on to third place. Now the 33 across behind him. Andersen was caught napping a little bit. Andersen tries to find his way past Ross, who did the same thing to him a lap previously. Andersen sends it to the inside, and all while these two are squabbling and fighting, that just allows the 244 truck of Thompson to get away. And Thompson now actually, Alex finds himself within a second of Fish, the race leader. Ham as well. That stalled out a little bit, that fight, although he's just about managed to get that gap under 2/10 of a second. But Ham, you know, he had pace catching up. It reminds me of a certain Formula 1 race that might or might not have happened today. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but, you know, you can catch up easily, but as soon as you get, you know, a roundabout, you know, 2/10 behind, when you start to be affected by the dirty air, you just can't find a way past. Overtaking proving to be difficult. 6 laps to go. Thompson in third, although has Thompson been saving his tyres? Maybe. But we see a late charge once again from our championship leader.
We'll have to find out as Jake Ham and David Fish continue to battle it out for the win of this race. Ham starting to close down that gap once again as we round turns 3 and 4 to collect 5 laps to go here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's going to be a very interesting finish as Jake Ham continues to try and narrow down that gap as best as he can. David Fish pulls away a little bit down that straightaway into the corner though. Jake Ham really closing that gap in on the corners, down to under a tenth and a half. However, David Fish with the run off the corner starts extending it down the back straightaway. You can see a little bit of right front damage on Jake Ham's car, probably affecting him just a little bit as he's still just really on the gas trying to close this gap. David Fish is trying to hang on for 4 more laps.
Fish or Ham, who will be your race winner here at the final oval race of the season? Thompson in third, still just about holding on to the final podium place. You see to ride on board with Fish, looking back towards Ham. You can just see Thompson round turns 1 and 2. Andersen now is the car challenging him, trying to get the final spot on the podium here. What can he do? What can Ross do as well? Actually, Ross once again falling off the back of the pack as he burnt out his tyres. I'm not quite sure, but the 33 looks to be out of contention, at least for the moment. 3 laps to go. This 43 ahead of the 85, but Ham once again so tight through turn 2, can really get on the power earlier, but that pitch is just so quick in the straight line. Ham now starting to throw the car into the corner. He's trying everything he can to win this race. He clearly wants this race win. He clearly wants to add another oval win to his repertoire this season. And David Fish likewise wants to win his only oval race, the only oval race left to win. Ham has got a good run heading out of turn 2. Ham down the back straight. Fish though with a little bit more straight line speed pulls away. Ham hustling him through turns 3. Ham got out of the throttle there. Will that impact his run? There's a little bit of lap traffic up ahead of us. Alex, very quickly, who's your bet for the race win here as we hit white flag, 1 to go?
I'm putting my money on David Fish. I think he'll be able to hold on. It's going to take a really big dive from Jake Ham. I think David Fish is going to be able to hold on for this one. He just needs to have a nice run through 3 and 4, and he'll be able to win here tonight.
See, heading down the back straight, the final real overtaking opportunity for Jake Ham if he wants to take this race win. He's gaining on Fish. They're all so close together. A tenth of a second separates first and second, but it will be David Fish who wins the race as he crosses the line, and by almost 1.5 tenths, he wins over Jake Ham. Thompson finishes in third, with Andersen crossing the line in 4th place. And what a finish that was. And everybody crosses the line. Oh, Tim Cox into the wall. Doesn't matter though. He has finished the race. But no cautions, Alex. I don't really think I would have predicted that heading in to today's proceedings, but a real lights to flag battle for the race win. And David Fish reigns supreme.
Yeah, I don't think I would have predicted a caution-free race either. I think I would have predicted at least one maybe mid-pack wreck due to some hard racing. But David Fish comes out on top over a great race that went caution-free. If Sebastian, you would like to take us through our results for tonight.
David Fish has been confirmed as your race winner by 1.2 tenths. Jake Ham second. Adam Thompson in third, adds to his point tally. Magnus Andersen is fourth, with Bobby Ross in 5th place. Jerry DiPiero finishes in 6th place. Jerry gaining 1 place from his starting point. Sam Cook down into 7th place. That early pit stop and that spin did not help him at all, losing 1 place from where he started. James Keir finishes in 8th place. David De Silva in 9th, with Tim Cox the only driver, in fact, to finish where they qualified. Tim finishes in 10th place. And then, well, what can you say about Brandon Gass? Had the race almost under control. If it wasn't for that over-eager pit entry, well, we might be Talking about a different race winner, but as it stands, Gas finishes in 11th place with Kevin Irwin, the 12th and final driver in today's race. And well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you do this, Alex. Seeing as it is the final oval race of the season, why don't you have a chat with our race winner, David Fish.
All that.
All right, David Fish, congrats on the win tonight. I certainly did not expect that from you. I didn't see you up there towards the beginning of the race, and all of a sudden, the pit stops happen and cycles you through to the lead. How'd that happen?
Just tire management at the beginning of the run. It's, you want to full throttle it around, but you pay for it at the end. And I right from the very start, I qualified 4th, fell all the way back to the tail end of the field. And it was just from letting off, going into 1 into 3, keeping the right front from melting. And then it was able to, I pitted 1 lap early, and it allowed me to cycle to the front. And from then on, it was just game on.
Yeah, game on indeed. It was a great battle from yourself and Jake Ham. How was it out there fighting with him, and how hard was it to hold on to win this race?
It was definitely difficult, just because, Jake had the draft. Jake also had, 1 or 2 lap newer tires, so I knew he was going to be coming. And luckily, with a few laps to go, he brushed the wall out of 4, and that obviously did some damage to his right front, which slowed him down a bit. And I believe that was probably the only thing that kept him behind me.
Yeah, and you were still able to hang on even with the pressure from him. Anybody you want to thank, give a shout out to before we let you go?
Bobby Ross and Mr. Thompson for throwing up the recruitment races and welcoming me in. And thank you all for broadcasting. I surely appreciate it. I know that's not the easiest thing. And special thanks to my team, Team Bushfink Racing, for supporting me. And other than that, thanks to the race. I really appreciate it.
All right, well, I'll let you go for now. Congrats on the win tonight. Hope to see you up here sometime soon. How confident are you going into the dirt road section?
Dirt road? Oh, I'm gonna be hot garbage. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't think you're gonna need to worry about interviewing me again on that section for a while.
All right, well, hopefully you can still do pretty good in that section. Look forward to seeing you again. Congrats on the win. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, gents. Appreciate it.
That was David Fish, your race winner here tonight. Seb, who have you managed to grab for an interview?
I managed to grab 2nd place man Jake Ham. Jake, welcome to the commentary booth. Almost another oval race win, but wasn't to be. But it looked like you gave David a real run for his money tonight.
Yeah, it was a heck of a race, and David played it the right way. He must have had a really heater of a pit entrance and pit time. Kudos goes out to his pit crew. I didn't even see his name, and then when I come out of the pits, I'm like, who is this guy?
He rocketed up the standings. I think he was in 8th place when everybody came into the pit, so I think we were as surprised as I think you were from the cockpit. But it looked like a really sort of strategic race out there. Everybody talking a lot about tire saving, and especially considering we had no cautions at the end.
Yes, tires were everything, and I realized it not soon enough to where your first 2, 3, maybe even 4 laps, you can gain a good fair amount of time. And when I pulled out of the pits, David and Adam were right there, and I was just hanging back, and during that time, I burned up my tires too much. I should have took it past him, and then I was in the dirty air, got into the wall behind David, following him, and that's, I think, what ultimately cost me the first place. But it was a heck of a run there at the end.
Certainly looked that way, and we've had such a successful oval segment of the championship, and unfortunately, depending on which way you see it, we're finishing with the road ovals. We're heading to the dirt road sort of rallycross section. How are you in those cars? Are we going to see you, once again at the top of the field?
I will not do my name injustice. There will be a lot of ham sandwiching going on, probably against the wall, against other people. It's just going to be a blast.
Well, I mean, I for one cannot wait to see that. But thank you so much, Jake. It's been lovely talking to you, and it's been a pleasure watching you out on the circuit. Before we let you go and celebrate, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to at all?
Absolutely. You guys for hosting. Thanks for the commentary. Love to go watch it back. And David, great race there. Adam keeping it clean on me. I appreciate it. And Adam. Adam's getting married if he didn't tell anyone. So make sure to question about that.
We will. Well, thank you so much, Jake, once again, and congratulations on your second place.
Thank you.
So that was Jake Ham. Alex, have you managed to find anybody else for a little bit of a chat?
I have managed to grab, I believe, our third place finisher, Adam Thompson. It was a bit of an up and down race for you all throughout, Adam, and you still managed to come up with a podium. How was it out there driving these trucks around this track?
I hate tire conservation.
Hey, you know what? Me too. That's something we can relate to.
Yeah, no, so I was running along and just trying to save the tires before that first pit stop, and yeah, I thought I did that, and I pushed the last couple laps before the pit stop, and I was like, all right, I'm going to pit one lap earlier than these guys, which I did, and everything seemed okay. And then, coming out, I was in first, and I knew Brandon had sped in the pits, so I knew I was racing Jake, and I had gotten out in front of Jake, so I was just like, I'm just going to save the tires until Jake gets to me, and then we can race. And then all of a sudden, David comes out of nowhere, man. I don't know how he saved the tires he did, but I just let him by me, and I raced Jake a little bit and let Jake by me. And then all of a sudden, I've got everybody else behind me that I'm holding off, so I don't know what I did wrong, or if I just didn't push hard enough, but I'm glad with the third place, man. It's all points at this point.
Yeah, doing a great job in terms of points in the championship. How confident are you as we head into the dirt road section of this?
Can I decline to answer that question? I'm just kidding. I am very, very, very confident for the championship. Josh Clogg, I know, is extremely fast in the dirt road. There's a couple other guys that have putting some practice in too that I may have to deal with, especially because I'm not going to be able to practice here for the next couple weeks. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to do points and see where I'm at in the championship at this point. Yeah, it's gonna be close. If I don't have it locked up, I'm confident that I can have it locked up just with the clean race on the next one.
All right, well, good luck with that. And anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go? And by the way, Adam's getting married. Give him a round of applause. That's why we won't be racing in the XSLR for the next 2 weeks. So congrats with that. Anybody you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, Alex, actually, I want to thank you for allowing me to correct you. I don't think anybody's going to be racing in XSLR for the next 2 weeks because there are two off weeks.
I forgot to mention that.
But after that, I would like to thank you guys as always. Jonathan, obviously, we had more issues today, and I don't even know if you got the videos up or not. And if you didn't, I totally understand. Just me being me. So thanks, guys, Sebastian, Alex, for doing what you guys do for Slow Motion Broadcasting. But I got to thank my fiance, who won't be my fiance after next Saturday. She will be my wife. I'm not leaving her, I promise. And just a huge shout out. Huge shout out to her for everything that she does, allowing me to put all the time I do into staring at computer screens all day long. And, everybody else watching, all the league admins, Jimmy, Jerry, James Keir, Rob Schwankler and SMB for doing everything he does. And yeah, my almost not in-laws anymore, or my almost not future in-laws, my actual in-laws, starting next week. And yeah, my whole family for watching, and aunts and uncles and grandparents and everybody that watches the race. Thanks, guys. But thank you three the most.
All right, well, I'm sure they will all appreciate that. We're going to let you go for tonight. Congrats on the podium. Hopefully we'll talk to you in 2 weeks' time from the dirt road section.
I hope so, Alex. Thanks. Have a great night, guys.
You too. And that was Adam Thompson, your third place finisher for tonight. And to round off the stream, Seb, that was just absolutely fantastic race. Really didn't expect it to go green all the way, but definitely another great race from these guys. A good one to round off the oval section.
It certainly was. Don't think you could have asked for much more. But, you know, as you said, Alex, as Adam says, we're off for 2 weeks. As, you know, Adam is getting married, and we will send our congratulations from the commentary booth to him. So we'll be back, well, in 2 weeks' time, where we'll be heading to the rally across section, the final discipline of the season. Will the same drivers reign supreme? Will we see new faces at the top of the timing sheets, or will it be a mix of both? Well, if anything is to go by, well, the Cross Series League Racing Championship always provides with good action. So my name has been Sebastian Bosher-Williams.
Real fast, Seb. Oh wait, never mind. Hello.
Go on, Alex. Go on.
On my end, I apologize for the awkward 5 or 6 seconds of silence, but on my screen you were sounding like a transformer, so I think it's connection issues on my end. So let's round out the stream before my PC explodes.
I think it might be on my end if you can't hear me. But thank you so much for tuning in today. We will see you in 2 weeks' time as the XSLR series returns from the Wild West.